Hi, everybody. Brian Moran with the 12-week year. And I just want to share with you an experience I had this week that I think could be helpful for you. One of our coaches invited me to sit in on a call with one of our clients, and our client happens to be named Dan. Dale is his coach. And so I jumped on that call. And Dan's very successful entrepreneur. He's got his own practice and been doing it for a number of years. But what's going on for Dan, I think, is what happens for a lot of folks. So I want to kind of talk you through that and see if there's some value there for you as you think about where you're at and what's happening in your business today. Like all of us, Dan's business has been affected by COVID. His is a little different, though. His industry is thriving. They're going nuts. But what's that has caused him to do is the things he used to do don't work anymore. Sound familiar? I mean, that's happened for a lot of us, right? So like most of us, he's had to pivot. And because what he was doing isn't working, because the dynamics of the marketplace are just so different. And so I get on the call, and Dan's telling me about that he's not happy with the results he's getting, doesn't feel like he's getting the results he should be getting, could be getting, and he's really starting to second guess his plan, which is really common. This is what happens for most folks. If they're not getting the outcomes, the results they want, they immediately go to the plan. And especially if they've had to pivot, they start to guess at and start to second guess and doubt, is the stuff in my plan really the right stuff? Is there something I'm missing? Is there some strategy or idea that I don't know about? Should I have different stuff in my plan? And I looked at his plan, and we're pretty familiar with the industry. Dale is as well. And Dale and he put together a really solid plan. There's really nothing he's missing. But the interesting thing was he's on the Achieve system with his coach. And so I looked at his score graph, and I'm going to post this on the screen here so you can see it. And what he and Dale are doing is they're tracking his results, but like everyone with the 12-week year, we're scoring the execution. So look at the graph here and look at his scores. And I asked Dan, I said, what do you notice about this? And we went and looked at his average score, which I think is like 38%, average weekly execution score. Now, you might look at that, if you're not on the program, you might look at that and go, wow, that really sucks. Well, okay, it's a different story when you're doing it. But the fact of the matter is 38% execution week in and week out is fairly low execution on the things, his current plan. So here's the scenario, and this happens for a lot of folks, and it may happen for you right now as well, or maybe sometime in the future. This is where I think it'll benefit you. Is that when we're not getting the result, we look to the plan and we want to change the plan. When in fact, Dan's plan, we don't know if Dan's plan's any good or not. Why? Because he's not executing at a high enough level with enough consistency to know whether or not the plan works. It's not working because he's not working the plan. How do we know that? Because his weekly execution scores are low. And so in the meantime, though, Dan's second guessing on the content of his plan and his approach and all of that, when we're really saying, hey, Dan, let's just go execute the plan you have. You've put a lot of thought into this plan. There's no way to know whether or not it's any good unless we go execute it. And by the way, there is no perfect plan. So some of it's going to work, some of it isn't. But the key is we've got to get Dan to execute it at a higher level, and then we'll get feedback from the marketplace. And that feedback will allow us to make any adjustments. Because right now, if we were to adjust the plan, we're simply guessing. Because we don't have any feedback. We don't have enough feedback because he hasn't gone out and executed the things in the plan. And by the way, I'm not being critical of Dan. This is what happens for most people. That's why I wanted to share this with you. The tendency is to, boy, my plan's not working. I need to change the plan, when probably 80, 90% of the time, the breakdown isn't necessarily the plan content. The breakdown is the execution. So the coaching to Dan and the coaching for you and the insight, the lesson for you is, look, let's execute the plan you have at the highest level you can. If you've heard me talk before, if you've gone through much of our stuff, you know that. If you're on the 12-week year, if typically you're scoring execution-wise week in and week out 80+% on average, in most cases you accomplish the goals. So Dan's got this great opportunity between this 38% that he's averaging to get it closer to 80%. As he does that, he'll get better results. Now, will it accomplish his goal? I don't know yet. But we'll know what's working and what's not working. So if we don't get to the goal, we'll know specifically how to adjust the plan. And that really is the power of the 12-week year. When you're on the system, it pinpoints the breakdown The challenge is the breakdown typically isn't where we think it is, right? It's typically not with the planned content. Even in a market that's shifted, even when we've had to pivot our actions and we're having to take some new actions that maybe we don't have as much familiarity with or experience with, the breakdown is typically on the execution side. So don't lose sight of that. I don't know how your 12-week year is going. Hopefully you're having a great 12-week year, but the more you can focus on the execution, the more consistent you can be with the execution, the greater the results are going to be and the quicker they're going to come online, and you'll have the information you need then to make the adjustments. So the lesson here is if you're not getting the result, the first place we look is at the execution, because that's what you can control. Right? We're not getting the outcome. We don't control the outcome. We control the actions. Am I taking the actions at a high enough level consistently to drive those results? Hope this is helpful. You can, as always, you can find us at 12weekyear.com. Have a great day.